So I'm just going to do a quick update on my fish tank. I have added some plants, I have taken out some things, and just added some new decorations. So hopefully this won't be too long. So if you watch some of my first videos, you can see that I had a lot of plastic plants, and I had never had an issue with it before. I know that you're not really supposed to keep plastic plants with betas, but I hadn't had any luck finding any silk plants then, and basically plastic was like the only thing because I didn't really think I wanted to deal with live plants because I'm so bad at keeping plant stuff alive. I can keep animals alive, I can't deal with plants. So I didn't want to have to go down that road just then. But so I had this, when I had my beta in his previous tank, I had this plant. And you can see that's actually quite spiky, and I do not recommend this at all for betas because he had never had an issue with it before. But oh shoot, see, it just, parts of it just falling off. But I never had an issue before, but I went out of town a few weeks ago and I was gone for about 2 days, and in that time the aquarium lights were off, which wasn't necessarily an issue, except I think that my beta just couldn't see where he was going. Normally he doesn't even go near this plant. This is like the hiding area for the cories and stuff, because they don't have an issue with this. So normally he wouldn't even go near this plant. But I don't know what happened. I think that he just, he couldn't see where he was going, and he swam into the plant. And, well, you can't really see him now because he's behind the rock. He's hiding. But his, fins were very, very badly torn up when I came back home, which I saw then. And so since then, I have been treating his fins. I was hesitating to add any medication because I have other fish in here that are not sick. So if you look at the end of his fins, you can see that they are a little bit ragged, but they're actually for the most part healed now. So I was treating his fins with just like regular, I was doing twice weekly water changes, 25%, and I was adding Stress Coat. You just add like 1 capful for 10 gallons. So, and there have been no signs of fin rot, so he's doing good right now. He's still active. And so as soon as I saw that, I took the plant out and I picked up these silk plants. These are supposed to be green, but they have some algae on them. I picked up these plants, and the red ones that you see here on the sides, these are all silk plants. So I got these. All of the stuff I got from this tank, except for the tank itself, is all from PetSmart. So, yeah. And then I didn't have any plants on this side, so I picked up some silk ones also just to kind of even things out. And so he really seems to like them. He was swimming around in them a lot. I've noticed the snails climbing them, actually. So this plant is not being used anymore. I don't know what to do with it because I only have betas. So, this plant can't go for any of them. Ow! Shoot, I just stepped in a box. So, right where this rock is, I just put this rock in today. And where the rock is, I used to have, sorry, it's a bit wet. I used to have this other plant, this plastic one that never had an issue with it. It never has torn his fins. The sides are actually quite soft. I did the whole pantyhose test where you run the decoration down a pantyhose, and if it snags, it's too rough for your beta. If it doesn't, then it's fine. So I had it. I just didn't like the look of it. I didn't feel like it was really providing that much coverage for my fish. Okay, I don't know what's happening there with the cories, but so yeah, so I took that out. I put this rock decoration in. I debated adding driftwood because my pH is a little bit high, but I decided against it in the end. One, because driftwood is actually quite expensive. They only sold, like, for the real driftwood, it was really expensive because they only sell the really large things for huge tanks at PetSmart. So it couldn't have fit in my tank anyway. And I decided I just don't want to mess around with the pH. Really, a high pH that is stable is better than a pH that keeps on fluctuating. And this pH, it has been the same since I started this tank about 3 months ago. So, well, I cycled it for that month, and then it was a little bit weird. But, so yeah, so I'm just leaving the pH alone. I'm not adding pH down or anything. I debated about that, and then I realized that that's basically an acid. and you need to be really careful because it can actually burn your fish's skin if you add too much. So anyway, so for live plants, I have this Marimo ball. It's just a ball, it's like a moss ball. Yeah, it's broken apart. Like, you can see that there are pieces of it. It used to be just one ball of algae, and it's just since grown apart and broken apart. You know, I'm okay with that, I guess. It doesn't look that great, but, you know, it's natural. It happened naturally, so I'm okay with it. I don't know what's my fish doing. But anyway, so, yeah, I want to get a little bit more I want to get a few more rocks. These rocks I got from Michael's. I rinsed them out. These were totally natural river rocks. And so I want to get a few more rocks just to make it a little bit more, just to make the coverage a bit better. So for live plants, I'm very happy with the way that this is going so far. Oh, and this tank, or this decoration I've kept there. I used to have this barrel cover. I used to have this. I'm just switching things out also to give my fish a bit of change. So, you know, it might not be like this in a few months. I'm just probably going to change things as much as I see fit. And I still have his beta log up there, which he still likes to go into, but mostly the snails like using it. Anyway, so for live plants, besides the Marimo ball, I have got, my snail is doing stuff, I have 2 Amazon swords over on this side and this side. Now it's funny because one thing that's common for when you put new plants in a tank, or you put plants in a tank with totally different water parameters, their leaves will die off and then they will grow new leaves that will adapt to that water situation. So this plant, when I brought it home, it was very stunted. Well, it's not very stunted, but both of these plants were quite small. And this one actually seemed to look a lot healthier before than this one. And this one also had a lot of leaves that were dying, so that was kind of irritating because, like, every day I'd have to take a new leaf off. And I think there's one leaf there with a bit of a brown spot. We'll see how it goes. I added some Seachem fertilizing tabs, and so hopefully it'll be better. But actually this plant is growing quite a bit. It was not this tall before. It's like up to here now. It used to be about only down to here, so I'm really happy with the way that that's gone. A few days ago, I added moneywort plant, floating plants. I just thought that this might be better. I had been looking for a floating plant before, but I didn't see any sign of a floating plant. In the store, a lot of these plants are tied down, and you can keep moneywort tied down in here, but I've heard a lot of people say that they have trouble getting it to stay. And, you know, personally, I wanted a floating plant, so I let it float. But, so my choices were either order some duckweed off the internet from, like, Aquabit or something, but I didn't want duckweed because the coverage there looks so thick, and I didn't, you know, betas have to get to the surface, and they have to be able to breathe from the air, so I didn't want to, like, cover up his surface entirely. So, the moneywort is not actually, hold on, let me try and get on a stool so I can actually see what I'm taping. The moneywort doesn't cover all of this tank. It only covers a small portion. So, you know, he can always get to the air when he needs to. And I think he likes it. When I first put it there, he was actually trying to bite off. He was trying to bite, oh God, some of the leaves. But now he's mostly left it alone. The snails seem to really like it. And so 2 plants that I just added today, actually, are this water wisteria. We'll see how that goes. I've seen some mixed reviews about it, but it's supposed to be a really good beginner plant, so I don't know. Hopefully it'll work, because I really do like the look of it. And then I got this green and white, I think it's Acarus grass, and I was actually kind of worried because it, you know, it didn't fully cover. Like, I don't have enough gravel to really cover it, so that's why I also want to get more, so I can just root it down a bit more. Because when I do water changes, the water's obviously getting shifted around a lot. I have to do a lot of planting things back down after I do a water change, even though it's very gentle usually. So, but yeah, so this is okay actually, I think, because apparently it can be fully or partially submerged in gravel. So, but again, I'm going to try to get some more gravel to cover as soon as possible, just to make it a bit sturdier. So yeah, so we'll see how this grows. So that's really it. My snails are trying to mate again. I saw them doing it yesterday, and the female was very much not interested. She like shook him around to get him off. She's actually quite rough. I didn't think a snail was that rough, but... So yeah, I've got all of my plants. And this is, again, a 10-gallon tank. I'm hoping to be able to get enough plants to grow that it covers up some more of this back. Because I don't want to buy a background to put it up there. Oh, hi, snails. Y'all are growing at the same time. Alright, so that is really it. Not too much really to say now. So yeah, alright, well, I will talk to you guys later. I will try and do another update in a couple of weeks. I mean, we'll see how much changes, really. Alright, bye!